Hi, welcome to this video series on case preparation, thinking outside the box along the lines. This video is basically, this video series of about 32 odd videos is for audience who is aspiring for management consulting, development consulting, niche consulting roles, product management, especially the guesstimates and the unconventional problems, startups, and basically any other individual who is applying for a role where case interviews are part of the selection process. And these videos are basically put together for varied audience level of comfort. For beginners, I would suggest that they should essentially watch all the videos. And for anyone who feels more comfortable with their skill sets, maybe they can just watch the relevant examples of the areas that they wish to strengthen. Now, taking a step back a little bit about me. So I recently graduated from IIM Ahmedabad, and I've done these workshops for now almost 5 years. And this basically is a culmination of all those efforts. The disclaimer for this workshop would be that the videos represent views that are strictly personal and should not be deemed to represent views of any institution or corporation in any way. And because many times I have given subjective commentary of what I think goes on behind the scene, which is purely an understanding from talking to different people over the last 5 years and not from any firm in particular. Second, the cases that I've shared are a mix of those that there's some examples that I have essentially developed for myself or practice with other people, or those that were given to me by my friends or seniors or I encountered in interviews. Now, it's possible that my friends or my seniors picked a case from somewhere, or maybe after that, it got published in some casebook. I've not been able to scan all of them to do the required due diligence to the extent possible. So to the extent possible, I know that these are unique cases, but if they are still in a casebook, the approach of these solutions, I think, would still be very unique that are presented here. How are the videos put together? So as I've mentioned, the content generation happened, the cumulative experience is 2015, and the content recording largely has happened through part of the recent workshops that I've conducted for students from various college campuses over Zoom. And with due permission, I was able to put those videos together and upload them now. Now, coming to the key part really of this introductory video, which is about how to use this playlist. It's about the first thing would be that with every video that you see, just have a glance at the description. It might be empty, or there might be important clarification or assumptions about the case problem being discussed. So that might be useful to contextualize things. Second, in the description, there might be links for further reference to the topic being discussed. So I have two other playlists, something I'll describe to later on, something I'll describe later in the video. But some topics I feel are explained in more detail in some of the other places as well. So I would put those links in the description of each video. So it might be useful to check that out. Now, specifically to essentially the next video in the series, which is 2x30. That one has no problem solving techniques per se. It's only for the uninitiated to get a sense of what areas to focus on and get a better understanding of, or at least hear from me what my understanding of consulting has been. And this was just so that the workshop participants were all on the same page. So those who have already had some experience with introductory workshops on what is consulting or have a clear sense of what is being asked for in an interview, feel free to skip that video, or maybe just watch it at like a 1.5 or 2x so that you can perhaps slow down at the relevant parts and still get to know the flow of the video. Then there are 3 videos essentially towards the end: Surviving IIM Ahmedabad 7.0, 7.1 and 7.2. Out of these, the 7.0 and 7.1 are relevant mostly from a campus interview perspective. So they are part of a different series of videos. The last video, which is about Surviving Ahmedabad 7.2, it has useful tips for answering HR questions, the personal experience interview questions, and I think it would be useful for any participant. So I'm sure like there are a whole host of things more to be discussed on this topic, but these are some introductory idea of issues that I think plague a lot of people while answering some of these questions. Now, just 3 caveats here. One is that there could be possible erratic flow in some of the case problems, largely because the problems were discussed on Zoom and there were a lot of participation from the participants as well. So sometimes the case might change the direction quite suddenly, or there might be some long pauses. So that's the only thing. I think it's only in like a couple of places, but I'm just trying to highlight that. The second thing is that these are not end-to-end solutions per se as you would present in an interview setting, because this is largely me doing this case for an audience. And so that I can cover more cases in the amount of time that I had, not all solutions are complete. So you will definitely have perhaps more questions at the beginning of cases than I have covered here. You might have a much more detailed and a proper conclusion towards the end. And even some of the intermediate steps might have some more details to them. So do not assume that this is what end-to-end is. To the extent possible, I've explained in different cases or put in the description box that there was more to this case than what I have just presented in the video itself. And the third, and perhaps the most important thing, is that this is just one approach. This is my approach of doing these cases. Please feel free to experiment, and really, it would be better and encouraged if you can develop your own approach. And all these examples just give you a sense of how to start building a thinking process. That's the only hope. To the extent possible, I've tried to use first principles to build the thinking rather than use some hackneyed framework or some fixed framework. What I try to do is walk the individuals through how the thinking process is being developed. And that's one takeaway I would want people from all of these videos put together, is that if they can build that thinking process ground up. Yeah. So there are 3 playlist links. I've put them in the description. The first is playlist for these 30 videos. If anyone wants 32 videos, or I guess 33 videos, if anyone wants to have a look and share ahead. Second would be the set of videos which I had recorded a few years earlier, which cover frameworks, not so much as examples. And really these 2 playlists mark the difference in my approach over the years. While playlist 2, which was some time ago, covers, let's say, the theory really of how to solve a case. And then from there, the assumption is that someone will be able to go to examples. For these videos, what I've done is that I have taken examples, and from examples, all the theoretical or the framework or the understanding has been built. So I think that makes it a little more engaging than the content that was there previously. And the third link is for a bunch of videos on basically surviving IIM Ahmedabad that I put up a few months ago. These are just some tips and learnings I picked up in my 2 years at college, which might be useful for someone who's starting or even in the middle of the B school journey right now in India. So well, that's it. This was just an introductory video to the whole 30 series, so that you might find it more useful for yourself by having this context. Best of luck. Hope you find the videos interesting, and do share this ahead with someone who you think might find them useful. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.